It did not matter who President Donald Trump picked to fill the vacancy at the Supreme Court after the announced retirement of Justice Anthony Kennedy. Liberals were going to say it was the apocalypse. Joy Behar, of ABC's The View, was among the most unhinged on Tuesday. Behar said she believed that the president should not be able to nominate a Supreme Court justice during the time he is under investigation for obstruction of justice and colluding with Russia during the 2016 presidential election, both of which no evidence has been produced for. And the fact is that the Democrats could keep this president under investigation for an entire 8-year presidency. Why would a president who is under investigation by the FBI for obstruction of justice and collusion be allowed to pick a Supreme Court justice? Behar said, "I'll be dead. There are many people in this room who will still be alive and need abortions and what have you and health care. And what would America do if women were not allowed to murder babies in the womb? How would the republic go on? How dare he be allowed to do this when he's under investigation?" Behar said, what Behar does not get, in her unhinged mind, is if the precedent she suggests was used, it would have consequences for every president to come. Every president who attempted to nominate someone could become the subject of a baseless investigation by the opposing party that would prevent them from nominating someone. This is the point that law professor Alan Dershowitz made later in the show. Conservative host Meghan McCain, no fan of President Trump, attempted to assuage her angry co-host. "There were people with signs that say we hate blank," she said. "The left does themselves a disservice when they don't even know who it's going to be yet." The protesters at the Supreme Court on Monday night had professionally made Stop Kavanaugh signs. Has anyone in the media asked how these protesters had professionally made signs 10 minutes after President Trump's pick was announced? The idea that this is, like, a stolen experience. Elections have consequences. McCain, the show's lone conservative, said, "Yes, Republicans have 3 branches of power and we're getting 2 more seats on the court. That's why voting is important. But the idea that we're living in some totalitarian, fascist country where this was just appointed by a dictator, that's just a lie." Dershowitz, a legal scholar, liberal Democrat, and author of the book The Case Against Impeaching Trump, also attempted to explain to Behar the dangers in her way of thinking during his segment on the show, but it was to no avail. The guy is under investigation by the FBI for collusion, for obstruction, for violating the Emoluments Clause. There's a list of things. And, as you mentioned, Mitch McConnell stole the last Supreme Court justice, which I think should be illegal, but it probably isn't. Why should we give the president, who is under investigation, the chance to affect the lives of millions of people with this next Supreme Court justice? Behar argued, because if you don't, every president will be put under investigation to prevent them from making Supreme Court nominations, he said. But Behar does not get that. She is unhinged, and she wants this president removed from office. Consequences to the Constitution and the Republic be damned. Behar, like the protesters at the Supreme Court with their pre-printed signs, did not care who President Trump nominated. She was going to fight against them. The president could have nominated a Democrat, and she would be outraged. That is why no one takes her seriously. The likelihood is that Judge Kavanaugh will be confirmed with every Republican vote and potentially the votes of some red state Democrats because there is no reason to oppose him, no matter what Joy Behar says.